Every immigrant dreams of buying a property in the UK, but many don't realize that they can do so even before obtaining a permanent settlement. A good example is me. I never knew I could buy a property on a work visa. I was waiting for my indefinite leave to remain, which is ILR, and it was only much later that I found that I could have bought property even before getting my ILR. I don't want you to repeat my mistake. So let's plan to buy property even before ILR. Hence, in today's podcast, I'm hosting Adi, my husband, where we will talk about everything related to buying property in the UK. We will cover prerequisites, necessary documents, savings, credit scores, types of property, and most important, whether now is the right time to buy property in the UK or not. If you're interested in this topic, make sure to watch the podcast till the end. But before we dive in, let me introduce myself to those who are new here. My name is Sarika, and I have been living in the UK for the past 14 years. Currently, I work as a lead business analyst for one of the world's largest tour operators. In my spare time, I create YouTube videos to help you navigate the global job market and find the perfect study abroad destination. I offer two valuable services that I encourage you to take advantage of. The first is free study abroad assistance service. If you're interested in studying abroad in any of these listed countries, please fill out the form provided in the video description and pin comment. My team will reach out to you to assist you with your study abroad plans. And the second service is paid job assistance service. This is a 3-month coaching and mentoring program designed to make you job ready. It's perfect for those struggling to find a job or secure a visa sponsorship in the UK, Ireland, Germany, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. If you're serious about your career and want to land your dream job, enroll in this service. Remember, it requires a 3-month commitment and hard work where both you and I will be working together to make you job ready. I've also hired mentors who have successfully landed visa sponsorship jobs with the right strategy, and they're planning to help you guys as well. It's also for people who want to start their career in IT and also start their career as a business analyst, where I will be your mentor. If you need a help, fill out the form in the description and my pinned comment, or simply email me at yourknowledgebuddy@gmail.com. Let's make you job ready soon. So without any further delay, let's get started with today's video by inviting Adi. So welcome Adi, welcome to Your Knowledge Buddy.
Thank you, Sarika.
Okay, so today's topic is everything about the UK property. How can our audience buy the property in the UK? So I've listed a few questions for you, Adi, if you don't mind. So I'm going to go through it one by one. So the first question is, can immigrants buy a property in the UK?
In immigrants, there are a lot of categories. So basically, if you are on a skilled visa and you are having a proper job or a business, you can buy a property in UK. The answer is yes. But if you are on a student visa or on PSW, you cannot buy a property with a mortgage in UK. If you have a cash, if you buy the property as in a cash, you can buy the property. But if you want a mortgage is a kind of housing loan in UK, then you need a proper job and you have to be on a skilled visa.
So other than student and PSW holder, everybody can buy a property, provided there are different lenders who are ready to provide.
So, provided you will fulfill the criteria of the lender.
What are the criteria of lender?
So basically, each lender have the different criteria. So I'm not a mortgage advisor, but I can give you a small kind of a idea or a hint. So first thing, you have to be UK on a skilled visa. You have to be a good credit history. Second thing, you have to be in a full-time permanent job, or you have a well-settled business. So, and these are some of the criteria, and your visa have a certain validity left. So if your visa is expiring in a 3-month time or 4-month time, I think lenders will not like that kind of criteria. So you're basically, for the credit history, you have to be in UK more than 1 or 2 years. So basically that is a past one. If you're on a skilled visa for more than 1 year, you have a good credit history. You can build the credit history in that time period. And if you have 2 years of visa left, then lenders will like that kind of applications to give the mortgage on that kind of application.
So generally people who are left with only 1 year of visa, maybe they won't have a good chance to get a
I think you have to pay more deposit in that scenario, but I'm not an expert. I will say consult with a proper mortgage advisor, and they can like, so how the things are working in UK, like each mortgage advisor, if you're going to an independent mortgage advisor, there are two types of mortgage advisor. One, like I'm taking example, if you're going to a bank, like proper bank, like Halifax or Lloyds or Barclays, so they have a mortgage advisor, and they will fulfill they like the requirement for the Barclays bank or the Halifax bank. In a market, or if you go to the town center, or like if you check it online, you will find independent mortgage advisor. What they will do, they will take your details, like how much visa expiry left, when you landed in UK, on which job you're working, what is the salary, how much like you can afford. So they will enter all the details into the system, and they will search. So on the basis of search, they can find all the lenders. Okay, like I'm just taking a random example, like Halifax will give mortgage a person on a skilled visa with having 2 years of visa status, 2 years of visa expiry left.
Correct.
So what I have seen in most of the cases, like Halifax and Bank of Ireland, they are giving mortgage on a skilled visa cases.
Right.
Like a lot of our friends got like their first mortgage on a skilled visa with Halifax. Even we got our first mortgage with Halifax only.
Right? Yeah.
Second is Bank of Ireland. They are giving mortgage to the skilled.
TSB. Another bank is TSB as well, which is pretty good. No.
I think no. Like
Okay.
I've never seen on a skilled visa somebody with a TSB. Maybe they have changed the criteria. Depend from bank to bank.
Yeah. Okay. So those are the few banks who are favoring more immigrants, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, that's a good tip. So what are the few things that people should do, or things they should consider even before buying a house?
So if I'm talking in a very layman language, or if I want to give the example, like first thing, like what is needed, like if you don't have a proper job, the chances of getting mortgage is like very less. So if you have a good full-time job on a skilled visa, and let's say then first thing what I will suggest, go to the mortgage advisor. Maybe like if you're banking with, I'm just taking a random example, if you're banking with Barclays, call them, say I'm looking to buy a house, can you give me the agreement in principle? So this is a kind of a document, or some bank is called mortgage in principle, or in short they're called AIP. And so if you talk to the mortgage advisor of that particular bank, I will suggest go to the independent mortgage advisor, check it online, or I can add some our mortgage advisor details in the description. People can contact them directly and ask that I'm on a skilled visa, I'm looking to buy a house. So they will check everything, and they will guide you. They can tell you how much you can like afford mortgage. Like the normal rate in UK is around 4.5 of the annual salary. Like if there is a husband and wife both are earning 50-50, then you can afford a house of around 450,000. Depend on other criteria as well. Like if you're having a personal loan, they will deduct that amount from the mortgage.
Correct.
And if you're having a credit card, if you're having a car loan, they will deduct everything. How much dependent you have, they can check everything. Normally, like if a husband and wife both are working, like say take a random example of salary of 50,000 each, so they can afford a house up to 450 if they don't have any other long time applications or credit applications. If you have long time applications, maybe they will deduct everything. They will say you can afford a house of 400,000 only. You can go and then search the market. So once you will go through all the details, and for that you also need a good credit history, like a proper record, you have a proper ID document, proper BRP with a valid expiry date. So once everything is checked, they will issue a mortgage in principle or agreement in principle document.
So agreement in principle is generated based on your salary that you submit. Yeah,
How much
3
you
months
can
of salary.
afford, yeah.
I believe 3 months of bank statement or salary slip is needed
Basically,
to generate
it
that.
depends from lender to lender. Some lender prefer 3 months, some lender prefer 6 months, some lender prefer 1 year. Like I'm taking a like other example, like if somebody is doing a contractor, like not a full-time role, then lenders prefer 6 month bank statement and 6 month salary slips. If you're on a full-time permanent job, then lender prefer 3 months. If they have any questions or queries, they will ask more. Can you please give me the 6 month bank statement or last 1 year bank statement?
Is it during that time they check for the credit score, or
So they will do the soft search. There are two types of searches, like on a credit search. One is a kind of a soft search and one is a hard search. Soft search will not impact your credit history. Like they will not they will just a random check. So and once everything got approved, you have finalized the house. Once they will check all the documents, when you sign the contract, they will do the hard search, and then they will give the amount for the house.
Okay, thanks. So let's talk about the credit score, because I remember when we bought our first house, my credit score was not excellent because I just took a phone on a contract. Because when you take something on a contract, immediately it brings down your score because you're taking a credit from the market, right? But if you have taken anything in credit 3 months before and you have already paid that, then your credit score or the score will not impact that much. So I think having an excellent credit score is a must have here, so that you spend less on your deposit. We had to spend 25%, I think, during our first house.
Excellent credit score is like if you have excellent, then that is a good option. But like if somebody is on a skilled visa, landed in UK less than a year or 2 years back, maybe they don't have that excellent score. So even the good and average will also work. So it depends from lender to lender. What are the criteria? If you don't have a like excellent credit score, there is a like lender will say, okay, I will not give you mortgage with a 10% deposit. You have to pay 15% deposit.
Yeah, that's
some
what
lender
I was
will
saying.
say, yeah.
It depends on your score. So from good to excellent, you may have to pay 10% to 25% deposit depending on the lender and depending on your credit score.
Yeah.
The better rate, I mean, if you have excellent rate, then you may have to spend less money in your deposit.
There are a couple of other things as well. Like if you have a not a very good credit score, the rate of interest that you will get on your mortgage is little bit higher.
Yeah, correct.
If you have an excellent credit score, maybe the mortgage rate of interest is less. So lender will have like different criteria on depend of your credit score, salary. So like if somebody have the average or if they have the something like bad on their credit history, the rate of interest is high for them as compared to the normal person who have a good credit history.
Okay, so because we are talking on this topic, what are the things people should do even before buying a house? And of course, credit score, make sure your credit score is good or excellent. What are the other things, Adi? So should we also think about the savings? We have not talked about savings because we have to give some initial savings. You should have a good salary as well to afford a house.
Okay, so the couple of things, like if you have to maintain a good credit score. If you want to buy the house in the next 6 months, I will say don't pay your payments on time, whether that is a credit card bill. Pay your credit card bills on time. So like everything on time. Like if you have any like current personal loan or any loan is like pay their like installments on time. First thing is that.
So you shouldn't be a defaulter at all.
Defaulter.
Yeah, make sure you.
Especially in the last 6 months, like if you have missed any payment, basically lenders will ask why this thing happened, why you have not payment this thing.
And I think the credit score will go down if they miss the payment.
That is also depend on criteria. If you're missing the payment, the credit score will not go down. If you miss like payments continuously, then the credit score will go down. So I think after 4 or 5 payment, if you're defaulting the payment, then the credit score will go down. If you're missing a payment, I think that is not going to impact. But that will be visible on your credit history that this person has not paying the Virgin Media or XYZ bill on this day. So one thing is this. Other thing, don't put like wrong things on the bank statement. Like a lot of lenders don't like gambling on the bank statement. So like gambling and like wasting money here and there. A lot of like cash deposit, lot of cash withdrawal. Even lenders will ask why this thing is happening because if there's
keep it very clean, basically.
Keep it clean, like paying everything on time. So first thing, like good credit history. And then proper a clean bank statement. Then like not of house shift also is not a good thing because that will also impact the credit history. Why you're moving house like every 2 months or like so same thing like changing jobs is also going to impact. Some lenders will not like
too many jobs. Try to be stable house, stable job.
Because lender will say like why you are switching the job up after like every 3 months because that is the lender will think okay what will happen if we will give loan to this person and this person will again like leave the job or like not find any job after 3 months. So that is a risk for the lenders. So keep everything clean and very in a proper format.
Okay. What about the kind of savings people should have even before thinking buying a house? I remember when we were thinking of buying a house, I did not have more than £11,000 in my account that time.
See, savings like what there are different options in UK, but if you are on a skilled visa, I will say minimum deposit that you need for buying a house is 10 to 15% at least. Like 10% is like a normal lenders want on a skilled visa. Some lenders prefer 5%, but like I will say don't like always keep the options like only one person with 5% deposit will give you a loan on a skilled visa. So I will say keep minimum 10% deposit. And like there are some other expenses as well like stamp duty, solicitor fee, server fee, agency fee, mortgage advisor fee. So keep at least like I will say stamp duty depends from like cases to cases. But I will say normal like if I'm talking about average house in UK like 300 or 350 or like maybe like 350. So you will at least
extra you're suggesting to give 3 to 10,000 pound extra?
I think £10,000 is a like
Is a good-
is a normal amount that
Yeah.
you need.
Okay, so your initial deposit, prepare for 10 to 15%, like Adi said. And second, we're saying keep extra anywhere from 3 to 10,000 pound, depending how big the house you're taking, because the tax will differ. Your again, the solicitor fees will be
Fees.
there, other services you said, yeah.
And one thing I can suggest, like a lot of lenders, if you are taking a gift from your parents,
I was about to ask that question
Yeah.
because we do not have enough money initially when we wanted to buy. So we did bring some money from India, from our parents. So Adi, can we bring money from not only India, other people from other countries? Can they bring money from their own country and then use
I
that
think
as a deposit?
it depends from lenders to lenders, but a lot of lenders, if you're getting a gift from your parents, like a direct relative, that is like they don't mind. They say, okay, for that you need a letter from the parents, like
Yeah.
okay, and the source of fund, maybe they're saying, okay, this is the money my parents have in their saving, and they will give it to you like via like a transfer from SDFC to your UK bank account directly. Other thing, they will write a letter, okay, this amount I am giving to my son or my daughter as a gift, and I don't want any share in the property. Then a lot of lenders will accept that letter as well, and you can use that money as a gift
Yeah.
for buying the property in a
Yeah.
first time deposit.
Yeah, and this is exactly what we did. We both got it from India, and that letter was accepted as well. Yeah. Okay, so that is good to know. So let's talk about now. Okay, say now I understand I have some visa duration left. I have some savings. My credit score is good. I have already kind of started looking for a location. Now, which is the platform that people should start looking for the property?
So basically in UK, like the most popular platforms are Zoopla and Rightmove. There are other platforms as well, like Open Rent, and there are some new platforms coming in the market. I was looking one AI platform these days, like I think landworth.io. If just Google it and you will find that is a kind of AI that will do the comparison as well in the local area. So basically the two major platforms are Rightmove and Zoopla.
Okay.
So you can just go look at the properties. If you think everything is like, just check your requirements, what you're looking for, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, the amount of the house. Then maybe there is an option to call that. There are different agencies in the market. Like I'm just giving some examples of like Connell's, Hart, urban and rural. So there are different Indigo. So just give them a call directly. Say I'm just looking at properties on Zoopla. I found one property listed by you guys, and I want to view that property. And you can ask your questions. Maybe once you will they will ask, do you have AIP, agreement in principles, in place? So you can say, yeah, I have an AIP from this and this lender, and I can afford the house up to this much limit.
So you're suggesting to have the document already ready before even you start looking for the house or before you contact those agents?
Basically, see, like if you're looking at property, like I'm just taking a random example of multi-million property, and you like the house, everything is going well, but in the last you got to know that you cannot afford that house because due to your
So you're
visa
wasting your time and
restrictions.
their time as well, and it's better to be professional, have this ready so that they also get a confidence that you can.
Even you have that confidence. You
Yeah.
can, like, if you're going to that the agency, you can say, I have the agreement in principle in place. I can afford a house of 550,000 or 600,000. So I have documents ready, and I want to view the property. If I like the house, I'll put the offer, and then we can carry on from there.
Okay, so thanks, Adi. What are the criteria people should see before they finalize a house? For example, when we bought our first house, for us it was very important to be very close to the station because I may have to travel to London. And then second was also a town center, so that we can just quickly walk and be there in town center rather than taking a car and finding a place to park. What are the other criteria you think students, not students, or immigrants should keep in mind before buying a house?
See, like there are a lot of things that you can consider before buying the house. Like first thing, it depends from like person to person. If you want a silent environment, then you have to move away from the town center.
Yeah.
What I have noticed, if you're living very near to the town center, the insurance cost is also high, even for your car, even for the house, because the crime rate is always high in the town center as compared to the other areas. So it depends from what you want. Like if you want like a quick like a market next to the house, then you have to be in the town center.
Yeah.
There are also like a lot of restrictions near the town center. You cannot park the car on the road because like town center there is always a yellow line in front of the house. But if you're buying the house away from the town center, the restrictions are less. You can park the car on your driveway or on the road because there are no lines. Insurance is like lower because due to the low crime rate. Car insurance is also lower. So different what you want.
I think there's just one point I'm going to add here, because most of the immigrants, when we come here, we don't start driving from day one. Yeah, we take a lot of time to go through the driving test and all, because with your Indian driving, you can drive only for 1 year. So one of the criteria for you guys should be, stay close to maybe a train station or maybe a bus line.
Like some people like to buy the house next to the school, next to the hospital.
Yeah, if you have kids, look for school.
Next to the grocery like market. So it depends like what you want. Like some people prefer to buy in a small village because they want a keep and quiet area.
Yeah.
So
but
like,
only if the connectivity is good. If they don't drive, I mean, yeah.
So
if you're not
it
driving,
depends like what you want. So I will say like town center houses are little costlier because there is a more demand.
And it's
if you buy the house,
very well
if you
to
buy
the
the house
station and
little
the
bit
bus.
far away from the town center, you will get a cheaper houses as well.
Yeah, but in that case, make sure you check the connectivity. I'm going to repeat this again. I know most of the people who don't drive, they do have a problem. That's why. Okay, so thanks. Let's move to the next part of this video. So once you buy a property, can you say you are buying your first property and say you have bought a property in London. Now tomorrow you have a job in Scotland. So can you put that property on rent and then go to Scotland? Or say someone on a skilled visa, they have to go to India for some time, a long time. I don't know if they will come back or not. Are they allowed to put their property on rent and then go?
Basically, you cannot like put the property on rent without informing your lender. What will happen in this scenario, that because when you're taking the mortgage, you are signing the contract that you are taking this mortgage for your own personal. You will use this house as your residential house. You will not use it for any other purposes. You have to that's what you are signing the contract. If lender will get to know that you're giving your house on rent without their consent or permission, maybe they will end the contract and you have to pay the penalty, or they will say no, that is not right because as per the terms and condition that is not listed and that you have not informed to the lender. So what is the best possible option in this scenario? I will say phone the lender directly and inform your situation that I am on a skilled visa. I bought the house this much year. I'm moving from London to Birmingham. I'm moving from London to Scotland, or I'm moving from London to India or any other places. Can I get buy to let consent? So lender will look at their terms and condition that they will say, okay, you have lived in the house for 2 years. The loan to value ratio of the house is like 80%, or we can give you the buy to let consent letter. Once you will get a buy to let consent letter from the lender, then you can move away from that house and you can give the house on rent via some agency, or you can manage by yourself.
Yeah, even for a month or so they have to inform the lender, not even a short duration.
Yes, you have to inform the lender. Even if you're giving the house on rent without informing the lender, that is illegal in UK.
Okay, good. Second question is a little personal. When people buy a property, so is it advisable to buy an old property or buy a new built property? Because in our first house, we bought an old property. Even our new house, another house, it's an old property, but we use a different thing here. So generally when people, as a new person to the UK, I don't know the market very well, I haven't started browsing it. What should I do? Old property or new property?
If you ask me, I am a fan of the old property. I don't like new properties because there are a couple of reasons for that. Maximum houses in the UK is basically 1930 built. So if you buy an old house, you will get a bigger rooms, bigger garden, bigger area. Everything is properly like a big format. The new one, basically what currently the builders are building, everything is small, like a smaller rooms, small garden, small driveway, small garage, and everything is small. There are always pros and cons on both the properties.
So the square feet already kind of decreases as well.
It decreases,
okay.
And what I have noticed, same thing in a council tax. Maybe currently in these days, the council tax for the new build is little bit higher as compared to, because council tax is calculated on a different basis. In the past, there are different bands A to H. So I think the other thing, in a new build, you don't have to maintain anything because everything is new. So you don't have to do any refurbishment, any changes. Everything is new. And if you're buying a new build, there is always a guarantee of 10-year guarantee on the walls, any structural damage, 5-year guarantee on the boiler, 5-year guarantee on the kitchen utensils and everything. If you're buying a old one, there is no guarantee on anything. You have to take an insurance insurance, or if anything will happen to any of the things, you have to replace it by yourself, or you have to call the plumber or builder to do the things. So both the things like pros and cons.
So if you compare the price, then are you saying that the old property will be then cheaper as compared to the new?
That is always the case, because
Yeah,
if you're buying a new thing from the market, just take example of a new car having a like 3 services included and like 5-year guarantee or something, but that car is almost like 30% higher with the old car. But what I want, I am buying a property kind of for my investment. So like if I'm thinking if I buy a new build, the price will not decrease, because I have seen a lot of cases people have bought the new houses and the prices has decreased after 2 years. And that thing is very common, especially in the cases of flats. Like if you're buying a flat, newly built flat, the price will decrease. Like you just do the comparison. Like I will say, just sit on the laptop and see. So I prefer, if you want a growth in the property, buy the old one. Maybe you have to invest some money in the house. Like after buying the house, you have to change the carpet, you have to change the doors, you have to change the kitchen. But if you're buying an old build, your money is more safer than the new build.
Okay. That makes sense. All right, Adi. Good conversation so far, and I believe our audience is enjoying the podcast. So moving next to the financial aspects to it, we touched briefly about the tax bit. Yeah. So what are the typical tax you have to pay as a first-time buyer if you buy a property, say we bought a property of 295K for the first time. So just take an example of how much tax do people have to buy?
Okay, I will give you all the calculations, and let's take example of somebody is buying a house like in a range of 295, just taking a random example. So making the calculation easier, let's make it 300K.
Yeah.
If you're buying a house of 300K, what I will suggest, always keep a deposit of 10%, that is 30,000. So first is a deposit. Then a lot of scenarios, there is a mortgage advisor fee, like the fees is 999. What I will suggest, always negotiate with a mortgage advisor, because they are getting their commission from the bank as well. I never paid any fees to the mortgage advisor. So there is a £1,000 fees for the mortgage advisor if they are giving you a very good deal. Then there is a solicitor fees as well. So the solicitor fees is like 1,500 to 2,500. It depends. I will say negotiate if you can. You can say like the others is giving me a cheaper rate, or why you are charging. So always negotiate in all the cases. Then there is a solicitor fees. I will suggest, if you're buying a house, do the survey. If you're buying the old property, so they will that is a own personal survey. So you can check that house is in a well condition that you're buying the house. If there is any major defect, you can either negotiate the price on the basis of your survey, or you can say, I don't know how to buy this house because there is a structural damage or there is a roof damage. So then the survey cost is around £500 to £600 if you're doing your own survey. Then there is a bank fees as well, like lender fee. They basically like from 999 to 1,500. So bank is also always charging money. The bank fee you can add in the mortgage as well, or you can pay it upfront. Okay. So these are some charges. After that, there is a stamp duty, what you're paying to the UK government. As a first time buyer, you will get some discount, and so I think there is a limit of up to 250. There is no stamp duty, and after that there is a 5% stamp duty, and that stamp duty is also changing, I think, from 1st of April 2025. I think from then there is up to from 0 to 125 there is a no stamp duty. From 125 to 250 there is a 2% stamp duty, and above that up to like 500 there is a 5% stamp duty. Just go on Google and just stamp duty.
This is the recent change, right?
So no, this will applicable from 1st of April 2025. So currently there is a you have to pay less stamp duty as compared from 1st of April 2025.
Okay. Good. Thanks, Adi. So let's also talk about the different government schemes available, which does help people to buy a house, especially first-time buyer.
There is a different government scheme as well. There is a different builder scheme as well.
Builder scheme as well.
So basically, there are I think help to buy scheme is no longer valid.
That was from the government, right?
I'm not very sure. There is currently there is a mortgage guarantee scheme is going on. I think for that you have to pay only 5% deposit. If you are fulfilling all the other criteria, you have to pay only 5% deposit, and 95% you will get as a loan. So this is one which option.
Is valid only for people who buy the house before 30th of June 2025.
I think if you're not wrong, the current date is like 30th of June 2025.
Yes.
So if you're filing the application before that, so you have to pay only 5% deposit.
Correct.
But you have to fulfill the other criteria, like you are earning good, you can afford the monthly EMI and other bits. One is this. So there is the other a shared ownership as well. So in which this is basically offered by some builders, and basically what will happen if you're buying a house, they will say, okay, there is a shared ownership, you are buying a house of only 80% or 60%, rest is owned by the builder. So just taking example of like for the easy calculation, I'm taking a house of 100,000 pounds. So the builder is saying like, okay, I own 40%, you will own 60%. So you are buying a house only 60%. For rest 40%, you don't have to take the mortgage, and the builder is the owner, or the shared ownership, whoever the person is, or they are the owner. You have to pay rent on that. And when you sell the house after a certain period of time, either you can buy that 40% in future from the builder directly, or if you wanna sell the house in future after 4 years, whatever the value is, you will get only 60%. Rest 40% is a builder one. So this is a little complicated, but this is a good step to enter into the property market. If you cannot afford currently at the moment, like a lot of scenarios, the property in London at the moment is very costly.
Yeah, true.
So like nobody can afford a house of £1 million if you're like if you're earning not. So in that scenario, you can buy the thing if that is suitable for you.
Yeah, cool. Okay, thanks Adi. Now let's move to the legal part of buying a house. So Adi, what are the legal steps involved to buy the property? Because we talked about deposit, we talked about other aspects like a prerequisites. What are the next steps once you finalize the property?
Once you like the house, you will give a offer on the property. Once your offer is accepted, the agency, whoever is selling the house in the market, they will ask your solicitor details and mortgage advisor details from you.
Right.
First thing, then maybe you will consult your solicitor, okay, and the solicitor will ask all the things from you, like your ID document, your residence permit or your passport, your salary slip, your bank statement. If you're buying a property as a joint, then your wife, all the details and everything. Once they will get all the details from you, they will check and verify all the documents, all the salary slip. So once everything is done, they will ask you some money, like they will do the searches on your behalf. So basically that is an easy thing in the UK market. You don't have to do anything. You'll pay money to the solicitor and they will do everything on your behalf.
And you will submit everything online. You don't even have to go physically be present.
It depends from solicitor to solicitor. Sometimes they will say come and sign in front of us. So like after COVID, things has changed drastically in UK. Lot of things has become online, but you have to like, it depends from like solicitor to solicitor. They will do the searches on your behalf. There are a lot of searches that will happen, like if the property is not on an earthquake land, is there is chances of flooding, how the drainage pipe is going in the property, is there the drainage pipe is a shared pipe or belongs to your property only, so drainage pipe, and there is a asbestos in the property. There are different plants that are harmful for the building foundation, that is called Japanese knotweed. They will check everything on your behalf. What is included in the sale, like is the washing machine included, is the curtain rod included, is the dishwasher included. They will check everything. Who is the current electricity provider, is there any like which thing is shared in the property, like a shared driveway, shared garden, shared fences. So they will do everything on your behalf. They will check and they will inform and update you, your solicitor, that this thing is not right. What are your options? What you wanted to do? If everything goes well with your solicitor. They will
not communicate directly to you. They will inform your solicitor.
So on the properties, the solicitors are talking. The owners are not talking.
So both the solicitors are talking.
They are talking, and they will share everything with you. That we have checked everything. Everything looks fine from our end. If they are having any issue, they will inform you what you want to do in this scenario. Once paperwork is done, everything looks okay. You will sign the contract. So I think this will take usually around 1 to 2 months. So
1 to 2 months.
Yeah. So the searches are like basically that is it is a time taking process. Once you are happy with everything, you will sign the contract. So contract basically you will exchange the key after 15 days or a month time.
So the day you sign the contract, it's not the same day you get the keys. You get only after 15 days.
After signing the contract, you are legally obliged to buy the property. Otherwise, there is some fine or penalty that you have to pay. So till the time you are not signing the contract, you can pull out from the market. That I am not happy with this property.
That's true.
So once you will sign the contract, so there is a written that after that maybe we are exchanging the keys on 15th of March of this year. And if you're not doing this thing, you have to pay 5% interest or you have to pay 500 penalty or something like that. So once you will sign the contract, everything is like final, like then you are getting the keys on this date.
True. Okay. So generally, if you look from the time you found a property and till the time you got the key, it's almost 3 months easily.
It depends from property to property. If you're buying a chain property, it takes like sometimes 4 months as well. If you're buying a probate property like if a son is selling the property on behalf of their parent who has died recently, and so that is like you will get a property like in a less time, maybe like in a 1 or 2 month time. So it depends from property to property. If you're buying a property from builder, they have all the searches ready, so you will get like very quick.
So again,
I will say
2 to 4 months or
2 to 4 months is like normal average time in UK.
So Adi, I don't think we touched upon in the beginning the different types of property in the UK. I mean, we both come from India, so the kind of properties we see is, we have flats, we have bungalows. But when we moved to the UK, we heard different terminologies. At least I was not aware of it. So do you mind explaining what are the different types of properties in the UK?
Okay, so there are a lot of things. I think even I'm not very but I can give you a rough idea about that. So first, there are two types of property in UK. One is a freehold property, one is a leasehold property. So freehold property means the land belongs to you. The other one is a leasehold property. The land belongs to the owner. You are getting a lease of 99 years or 600 years. So this is the first difference. Then same thing. Always the flat is always on a leasehold property. Like on houses is depend on a freehold or on a leasehold property. In maximum scenarios, houses belong to a freehold property. So first is freehold and leasehold. So then on a freehold, if you're buying a house, then different type of houses in UK. One is a terraced house, one is a semi-detached house, one is a bungalow, so one is a detached house.
Yeah.
So there are different types of properties in UK.
Yeah.
I would say just
and the
Google
cheapest
it.
is the flat generally, then goes your terrace and then detached and semi-detached.
See, depend on location, depend on
I mean,
area.
in that particular location, if you look at, of course, bungalow will be expensive and the cheapest will be the flats.
But
right?
one thing that you have to consider, if you're buying a flat or if you're buying a leasehold property, there are a lot of charges as well. So if you're buying a flat, just taking in an apartment or a building, you have to pay the service charge, a kind of a maintenance flat.
Yeah, even in India, you have that flat.
But same thing, the service charge is very costly in UK. Maybe if you are some flats have service charge of £600, so 200 pounds. So one is service charge, other is the ground rent that you have to pay annually because you are not owning the land, you are taking the loan.
So even ground rent.
Yeah, that is a leasehold. And
who do you pay that to, the government or to the leasehold?
To the owner of the land.
The
so
land.
Or some maximum cases there are companies that own the land. They are building the flat on that. So you have to pay two things extra. So if you're buying a flat or a house with a leasehold, be ready to pay all these things or consider this one as a cost as well, or a recurring cost that you have to pay on a yearly or a monthly basis. But if you're buying a freehold, then you don't have to pay all these things. The only thing you have to pay is the council tax.
Yeah, that's true actually. Okay, Adi, so just the last question. So, Adi, is it a good time to buy a property now in the UK?
According to me, yeah, it is a good time to buy a property in
So,
UK.
if I give you a lot of money now, then will you buy more property?
I will buy more property.
But I'm not giving you money.
I will buy because I can give you my explanation. Maybe I'm not sure. The mortgage rate is high in UK at the moment, and it means less people can afford houses now. So the houses are little cheaper as compared to the normal rates in UK. It will happen anything plus minus 5%. Either it will go down or it will go up. But if you're looking for a long term, then I will say it's a good time to buy a house in UK. And if you're buying your first house, I think it is a good time because the stamp duty rate will increase from 1st of April 2025. So that is one thing. You will save some money on stamp duty if you're buying a house before 1st of April. So one thing is that. And see, the rent prices are increasing drastically in UK. The reason because the landlord, they have to pay more interest to the bank. That's why they are increasing rent prices. So I will say, if you do the normal calculation, if you're buying a house that you're paying money to the bank, not to the landlord. And say, if you're paying £1,300 per month as a mortgage for your house, on £1,300 you're paying only £700 as an interest and £500 deducting from the principal. So that is your kind of a saving for you. So if you want to buy the house, if you're first time buyer, I will say go and definitely buy the house as early as possible.
Thank you, and I do agree with Adi. So that's all for the part 1 of the property podcast. I still have many questions listed here, guys, but if I continue, it will be another 1 hour podcast. So I think I should leave it for part 2. And of course, if you found this podcast interesting, please do leave your comments or questions, which I'm going to cover in part 2. Thank you, Adi. Thank you for coming and sharing your experience with my audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarika. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks.